Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi there, my name is Renata and this is my channel. Please make sure to subscribe down below. Also turn your post notifications on, give this video a like. Yeah, wow, it's been a while since I last filmed a video. So I'm kind of out of the game right now, but today I thought I'd share my experience of being an expat kid, or like my experience of moving around, going to different schools. And yeah, because you don't often hear the kids' point of view. I thought I'd share what it's been like moving to different countries, different schools, how I've managed to stay connected with my friends and family. If you see me looking down, it's just because I've got my computer here and I have like all the notes of what I want to say. And yeah, let's just get on to the video because this intro is taking a little long. Okay, so I'm gonna start by sharing my background of where and why I've had to move around a lot. For those of you who don't know, I am originally from Indonesia. My family lives there. My parents are from there. I was born there. My brother was born there. And that's really where I consider to be my home country, but I'll cover this idea of home later on in this video. I lived in Indonesia until I was about 4 years old, I think, and before my family moved to Norway, and this was our first move. Reason being my dad's jobs, and that is like the reason for why I've moved so many times. And after living in Oslo, Norway for about 3 years, we moved to Abu Dhabi, the UAE, for around 1.5 years, and then we moved back to Norway, which is a rare opportunity, and I got so lucky because I was able to go back and reunite with my old friends from my previous school. And then we lived there for around 4 or 5-ish years before moving to Houston, Texas, where I lived there around 2.5 years. Finally, we moved here to England, and I've been living here since for the past 3 years. So that is like a short story of my whole expat life, and I'll get into more of the details later on this video. Let's talk about my first move. My first move was definitely scary, exciting, lonely, but also kind of a blur. I don't remember much considering I was only like 4 years old, so I don't know what I could tell you accurately besides that I remember how nerve-wracking but also at the same time easy it was compared to my other moves. It was hard because it was the first time moving away from family and friends, and I was really close to my cousins, so it was normal to see them every single day. So you can imagine how scary it was moving away from that safe environment to a foreign country where you don't know how to speak the native language. Like, I could barely speak English. I guess it was easy because I was so young, and so it was so much easier to make friends because it was just an easy adjustment period. During my first move, funny enough, we actually ended up going back to Indonesia for like 6 months-ish. Coming from a warm climate and having been always surrounded by people who look like you, this is definitely like a huge change. It wasn't easy on my parents either, I know that for sure. I'm so grateful for this experience because I've met so many friends from that first move alone who I still keep in touch with. All my friends from year 1 and reception, I still keep in touch with them to this day. Forever grateful for that. I wish I could say that moving and adjusting to a new environment gets easier with practice, but as I've said before, it's definitely a lot easier when you're a lot younger. It's never fun to leave those who you care and love so very much behind. As you get older, it just gets so much harder. I don't know if it's just me, but it was like so much easier to make friends in primary and elementary school. Everyone was pretty much friends with everyone. Like in middle school and high school, if you're the new kid, you may not instantly belong. That can take a mental toll on your adjustment process. It also, of course, depends on the school itself and the pupils that are around you. At an international school, everyone is used to having people leaving and coming all the time. I personally have found it way easier to make friends at an international school just because new kids are the norm. And I've also found that because of this, they made more of an effort to make you feel really welcome, and this helps a ton. And then compared to like a regular or non-international school, the atmosphere is so different. Being the new kid is sort of this rare, greater deal. If you have a choice, and I know not everyone has one, I would highly recommend going to an international school. I don't know, I just find it a lot easier to fit in because you share this relatable aspect of your life. And I've also found that international schools tend to celebrate diversity a lot more than other schools just because you see a more diverse group of people than you would otherwise, and so they really make it a point to to celebrate everyone's nationalities and make everyone feel welcome. You enter this mixed culture environment, which is so bright and colorful and lovely, and I just love it so much. But of course, this all depends on individual schools, and I'm just talking from my personal own experience. Another thing I want to discuss is time. Timing plays such a key role in the whole adjustment process. Sometimes there are things to do with certain situations, or you just know, like, you're just mentally and physically prepared to move. For example, when I moved from Norway to the US, even though I was entering middle school, it was so easy because I, like, mentally and physically, I was just ready to move on from the toxic environment that I was surrounded with. Honestly, like, the timing then couldn't have been any better. When I was moving from Houston to here, I was a mess. I did not want to leave my friends because I just found the perfect friend group, and I had planned my 4 years of high school and everything, and I just didn't think that I would be moving, so I was not prepared whatsoever, and that made my adjustment process hell. It took me months to finally accept this place, and now I'm doing all right. So alongside adjusting in a new environment, there's also, of course, the aspect of being a new kid. I've touched on this earlier, but being a new kid, yeah, it does kind of suck. Contrary to popular opinion, honestly, don't try and fit in. We'll find our friend group one day or another. It may take weeks, it may take days, months, but in the end, you'll find your people and where you belong, and you'll make longer lasting friendships. If you try to fit in, you know, it might work in the short term, but not necessarily in the long term. To each their own. Remember that everything takes time. So yes, the first couple of days or weeks or months will be awkward, but after that, you'll feel like you'll belong, or hopefully you do. If you are watching this, however, and you are not a new kid in school, please remember to be kind and welcoming to those who are. I've definitely had some experiences where I didn't feel welcome as a new kid, and it really did affect me mentally, and so I just ask that, you know, if you know a new kid, maybe reach out to them, befriend them, especially with this new school year coming in soon. Chances are the new kid is really nervous and anxious, and don't pretend to talk to them and then go behind their backs to talk about them. That's honestly just makes things a whole lot worse, because if the new kid does find out, it will hurt their feelings, and yeah, it's also just not a very nice thing to do. Parts of this video is feeling kind of like a rant, some parts of it maybe, but I'm trying to stay as neutral as possible and just share what I've experienced. So now we're gonna be talking about how I've managed to stay connected with my friends. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a very sentimental person. Like, very, very sentimental. And although I'm working on it, I do have FOMO. Luckily, throughout the years, I've managed to stay connected with my friends and families who all live, like, all over the world, regardless of how far apart I am. I can't really explain, like, the excitement I get when I reconnect or reunite with someone. Again, it's just like this happy feeling, and I love it so much. And I think that's one of the best things of moving around, is the fact that you get to meet so many people from all different backgrounds. And if your parents, like, work in the same company, you never know when your paths will cross again. I think it's no surprise that the biggest reason why I've been able to stay connected is because of social media, Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp. If it wasn't for those platforms, I don't know how I would have managed to stay in touch with so many of these people. I know social media is often perceived as this toxic thing that teenagers should aim to stay away from, but it's literally the one thing that has helped me stay connected with so many other people. On the other hand, I also think it's important to keep in mind how relationships or friendships will change from being a long distance thing. Nothing will stay the same. People grow up, people change. It's an inevitable thing that people will change. So, you know, your relationship will change too. And if this happens, it's totally okay. It's normal. Also, if a close friendship has become a toxic relationship, please cut it off. We don't need any of that. We have enough on our plates as is. No need for extra drama. Refer to my last video where I talk more about this. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about how it's been being away from family. So I think I touched on this earlier, but being away from family is definitely one of the cons of moving around so much. I can't speak for your experiences, I can only speak for mine, but I've been in a very fortunate situation where my cousins and I have always been so close, and my parents are so close with their siblings as well. We try to go back to Indonesia at least once a year if possible, but of course with this current COVID situation and all that, we haven't been able to go back. We tried to go back at least once a year to visit our cousins, and when we do, it's always such a fun time. There's always gonna be that, like, awkward stage of meet and greet, and then once that has passed, everything is smooth sailing. So Where is home? Now, I get this question a lot, especially from teachers, friends, or people who just met me. Like when I'm trying to explain my situation, they just often ask, where do you consider home? The answer to this question is a long-winded one. It varies. I will always and forever refer to Indonesia as my home country because that is where majority of my family lives. I was born there. I was raised there for the first 4 years of my life. But there is always going to be this feeling of like not knowing where you belong as an international student. Although it is my home country, I don't have many friends there because I left at such a young age. If for other people it might be a different case, but because me, I've grown up abroad for most of the time. Indonesia is more of like a holiday vacation, summer holiday place because that's what we do when we're there. I didn't live in Indonesia for long, nor do I have any friends there outside of my family, so calling that home doesn't really fit. There was a time where I referred to Norway as being my home just because I lived there for around 7 to 8 years. So I have so many friends there and like family friends, and I love the country. I love it so much. I love the people, I love the language, I love the culture. But then again, is it really my home? Do I consider myself a Norwegian? No, I don't. And then for a while, Houston was also home just because that's where I've made the closest friends. I also love it there too. So where is home? You know, really good question. Truth is, wherever I am at the moment, I guess is where I consider home. Now I'm going to talk about my favorite thing and my least favorite thing. So my favorite thing has to be the people that I meet, that I get to meet when I move around. An expat life is one of the easiest ways to meet people from all over the world. But what I really love is being able to reunite them and not knowing when your paths will cross. There's always a sense of excitement. I don't know how to explain this feeling, and I know like some of my friends might get what I'm trying to say. It's like, I don't know, it just makes you realize how small the world really is. And you just start to appreciate a lot more things around you. Or like when you meet people who share mutual friends with you, like there's just this excitement. I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm weird like that. I don't know, this is a little off topic, but if you guys know the 6 degrees of separation theory, which like suggests that people are separated by 6 different social connections. Anyways, I mentioned this because there's so many times where I have met people who I've shared a mutual friends with, and it's just so cool. That being said, my least favorite thing is having to restart your life over and over and over again. Like there's no sense of like things being permanent. Things are always on the move, and so you just never know where you end up. You just have to be ready to say goodbye and become the new kid all over again. I don't know if anything I've talked about made sense. Hopefully it did. Thank you guys so much for watching and making it this far. Hopefully you get a little insight to what my life has been like for the past 18 years or so, or like what some of us expat kids and families have experienced as well. If you are new to this whole moving world, or you're watching this video because you're about to move to your next place, or maybe it's your first move, I hope you found this somewhat helpful in any way. Feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. The links, everything will be down below in the description bar. And yeah, if you have any stories or experiences of your own, I would love to hear them. Please comment them in the comment section. That said, subscribe, give this video a like, turn your post notifications on to see more upcoming videos, and yeah, bye bye.